Hi, this is Keith Shabbat, your friend in the mortgage business, and today we're discussing mold inspections. Mold is everywhere. You can't eliminate it. If you could, we'd all be in trouble as nothing would ever decay and we'd all be buried in junk and debris that nothing could grow on the earth. But we don't much like it to see mold indoors, certainly not on our walls, ceilings, or furniture. There, we remove it, clean it off. Because there are potential health risks involved, especially for some people, and because there are significant costs involved in large mold remediation projects, home buyers often contract mold inspectors to ask about testing a home for mold during the home buying process. A thorough building investigation for problematic mold needs to address hidden mold reservoirs, for which mold inspectors' approach is to complete a detailed inspection and building history, as well as a record occupant observations and complaints. A low-cost superficial test for mold, such as an air test for mold, a home test kit for mold, or a culture, is likely to be a waste of money, since those approaches to screening a building for mold contamination are unreliable. Certainly, if problem mold is visible, that's unambiguous, but superficial visual inspectors and grab tests for mold in the air or on surfaces performed without being accompanied by a very thorough building inspection, history taking, or occupant interview have a high risk of missing important reservoirs for problem mold in a building. Some mold inspectors may charge as much as a true expert to examine your building, anywhere from $750 to $2,000, but in fact may be doing little more than a quick inspection for visible mold and a few superficial tests. This is also an unreliable approach. Since water and moisture are gating factors in indoor mold contamination, we recommend that you start with a thorough inspection of the building for conditions likely to produce mold problem, such as leaks, moisture traps, bad ventilation, and a history of flooding. Why hire a good home inspector to check for mold-producing conditions in a building? If your mold inspector is simply going to enter the building, collect a few surface or culture samples, and perhaps report on obvious visible mold in the living space, you're not receiving a very professional nor very reliable service. An experienced, thorough, detailed, qualified home inspector will be much better at recognizing those conditions that are typically mold inspectors or typical industrial hygienists who does not know building science and who lacks experience in identifying where and why mold problems occur in a building. Home inspection standards training and experience teach inspectors where water leaks and moisture problems occur in buildings. Here are some examples of water and leak history problems that can create a hidden mold problem in a building. A one-time basement flood due to burst pipe, sewer backup, or area flooding. The basement may now look clean, dry, but significant mold contamination may be present in the basement walls, under-carpeted floors, or in building insulation. An older home with poor under-roof ventilation may have experienced condensation or moisture-related mold contamination of the attic insulation, roof sheathing, or hidden side of ceiling, drywall. In northern climates, such as home may have had ice dam leaks into wall cavities producing hidden mold in the building walls. A home where plumbing leaks from an overflowing bathtub, leaky fixture traps, or supply piping leaks may have had leaks into the wall and ceiling or floor cavities leading to hidden mold contamination. A home with a history of recurrent damp or wet crawl space is an extra risk of moldy crawl space insulation, producing mold species whose pores move upwards into the occupied space by riding normal air leaks and air convection currents. A home inspector is experienced to recognize these leaks and moisture problems even though they are not performing an environmental inspection. This is Keith Shabbat, your friend in the mortgage business, discussing mold inspections. Thanks again.